Hi, I'm Jack Howell. I have a nephew named Robbie who just got a clarinet. And this video, and maybe others if this goes well, are for him. Hi, Robbie. If you are beginning clarinet, you may find the same information helpful. So if your name isn't Robbie, that's okay, just follow along. I remember getting my first clarinet. I was excited to have my own real musical instrument, and I couldn't wait to get started. So before I had a chance to have a lesson, I put the clarinet together wrong and started pushing buttons. So first thing let's do is let's put it together right. The first thing is cork grease. It's this little tube that looks like lip balm. Actually, you can use lip balm as cork grease, but you probably shouldn't use cork grease as lip balm, just for the record. Now, you don't need to slather it on, but about the only harm that can come in putting the clarinet together comes from the corks drying out and then requiring extra force to put them together, or possibly catching and tearing the corks themselves. So, Robbie, I made sure that your corks were greased before you got the clarinet, so you shouldn't need to do this immediately, but you might need to do it about every week or two. So you just put a little bit on, and then you run it around with your fingers. Okay, so now it'll go together quickly, easily. So first thing we do is we put the bell onto the lower joint. The lower joint is this one with the long keys here and then these keys that look like spoons. And the way I recommend grabbing this so that we don't bend the keys is that we hold it in our palm and we put our thumb right here on the first of these, what are oddly enough are called ring keys. Okay, so you put your thumb there, so you're holding the clarinet here and here. We're not putting any pressure on any of these keys or any of this stuff. So you just take the bell and grabbing the clarinet like this, you just twist it on. All right? Now, we're going to add the upper joint. The upper joint is this piece, the other piece with keys, that's not the lower joint. And the thing you need to notice is these two bits of metal. The upper, this is called the bridge mechanism. There's this little piece of metal that extends out over the cork, and that mates up with this piece right here on the lower joint. So in order to put it together, we want to hold the upper joint like this. We're using our palm back where there are no keys, and we're using our fingers here on the ring keys so we can't bend anything. And then when we push these ring keys down, that lifts this part of the bridge mechanism so that it slides over the lower point, right? So if we do that, then we won't run any risk of tearing the cork off on the lower joint bridge mechanism. Now, when the clarinet is put together, the bridge mechanism should line up perfectly. Okay, that's all of the hard stuff. Now we add the barrel, which is the part between the upper joint and the mouthpiece, and we just twist it on. Easy. Now we add the mouthpiece. So the mouthpiece comes with a cap and a ligature. The ligature is kind of the hose clamp sort of thing that holds the reed on, but we take those off. For now, only put the mouthpiece on and take it off with no reed or ligature. Later on, you'll learn a split finger grip so you can take it off with the reed on, but for right now, we want a full 5-finger grip on the mouthpiece so we don't drop or scratch it. So there you go. So Robbie, you actually have a very nice mouthpiece there. We want to be careful with it. The tip, right here, this is called the tip, and these parts here are called rails. And they're actually pretty delicate. You don't want to bang them into stuff. and that stuff includes your teeth. You'll probably learn that the hard way. So you turn the mouthpiece so that the part where the reed goes is facing the back, away from the keys. When you play, the reed will rest on your lower lip. Now, I didn't know that when I started, so the first week or two I played with the reed upside down. So we're all set except that we need to put the reed on the mouthpiece. Now, in order for the reed to work, it has to be wet-ish. Not soaked, not dry. So stick it in your mouth for a little bit. I have a little container of water that I use to wet reeds. But for probably the first 10 years I played the clarinet, I just stuck them in my mouth. So now, hold the clarinet between your legs, okay, with one hand, and I don't think it matters which hand you use, but I'm left-handed. Use your thumb to hold the reed onto the mouthpiece like this. Okay. You use your other hand to square it up. We want the reed to be even from side to side, and we want the tip of the reed to be even with the tip of the mouthpiece. So holding the reed in place with your thumb, take the ligature in your other hand, and I know, Robbie, I think your ligature has the screws on facing you instead of on the top. That's just fine. Holding the reed in place with your thumb, take the ligature and then use the sloping part of the mouthpiece called the beak to guide it over the reed. All right, so about the only thing, this is harder than it looks, but when you've done it a few thousand times, you'll get the hang of it. We want to avoid damaging the reed or the mouthpiece with the ligature. Using the beak as a guide will keep the sharp ligature from splitting the reed or chipping the mouthpiece tip. Once you've got it on, you can adjust it a little bit, and you may need to loosen the screws in order to slide the ligature down over the reed. It should go down about this far. You don't want to clamp this shaved part of the reed, which is called the vamp. So now you tighten the screws, not very tight. You just want to keep the reed from moving, that's all. Okay? Well done, Robbie. Disassembly is the reverse of assembly. And I'll make another video soon to show you what's next, and we'll make some sounds. Go get them.